So our business model's a little different, and I'll tell you what we decided to do. Most people think of snow cones or whatever, shaved ice, they either serve in something like this, which is a standard styrofoam cup. These are convenient, cheap, and easy to buy at your local Sam's, Costco. Then you have what's called a flower cup. Some people, they're also referred to as a dam cup, D-A-M, because it kind of creates a dam to hold your flavoring. Now, we're going to do a flavor station, which speeds things up, so we're not going to hand pour everything. And this style cup will keep from making near as a mess, either at your flavor station or even if you're hand pouring them yourself, because it kind of helps contain, and we'll demonstrate that here in a minute, with the flavoring. But with this, a little cheaper, but I think these, even if you charge a premium. So when we were doing lemonades at festivals and fairs and stuff, I only had one size, two flavors. I had a traditional lemonade, and then I had a strawberry lemonade, and two different price points, $4 and $5. I'm going to do a similar concept with this. Instead of having two or three different sizes, we're going to do an 8-ounce flower cup, which is this, and one price, and we're going to have two add-ons. We're going to have what's called a sour spray or a sour blast, which creates a sour flavoring for any of your flavors. So if you have just regular traditional grape flavor and you put the sour blast in it, it will actually make it very sour. So the other thing we're going to do is offer what I call a snow cream. Some people call it a snow cap, but it is made from condensed milk. This is my special formula. I just dilute it down a little bit, add a little vanilla flavoring, and put this on top of the ice. This is my favorite. This is great. Put it on something like strawberry or tiger's blood. It's very appetizing. It's very good. So I'm going to demonstrate the unit itself. Again, bag ice. This right here is just some ice I got out of my freezer. I'm going to dump it in there. Same thing. Close that. And I'm going to do one in this first because a lot of you may use these at home. So I'm going to show you how that's going to work. Once you get to this stage, it's kind of full. Kind of cup it. And then create a little bit of a top. I personally do not like the snow cone stores that are vendors that pile it really high. I like something like this. I would rather have a bigger cup and less of a top. So that's kind of up to you. I think it's just easier. It's going to make a mess with it being real tall. Kids have a potential to knock it over, you know, whatever. But something like this is a little more manageable. So I like that style better. We'll also do one in a flower cup for you guys. One thing you'll notice that this unit kind of has a washing machine effect, kind of vibrates around, and that's where the ice is not even inside. So that is a negative about this machine. It does have that. Now normally with a foot pedal it's pretty easy for me to just lay my hand up here, going anywhere. And you want to put about that much. Again, some people pile it up really big. I've got a couple of these funnels. These are just standard plastic funnels you'd buy at your local. I actually got them at Harbor Freight for like $1. But I do that in the center, come around here and start taking the edge around like that. And now you got a nice looking snow cone. If you wanted to knock off the edge, you could. Some people do that at those snow cone shops. I think it's just wasting ice. I just assume leave it. So one thing you can do is take one of these little dowel rods. I think my wife had these for baking, and you can poke a couple of holes and then one down the center. That will help the syrup go all the way down to the bottom. So let's look at consistency real quick, because I told you that you cannot get it but super thin, silky. But if you look, it does smooth. That's one test you can do. Take the back of your spoon and run around and see how it smooths out. So it's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But one thing I'll show you real quick on these toppings, because we're going to do a flavor station, what I'm going to do with my toppings is simply this. I'm going to give them, I'm not going to put the stuff on. I'm going to put this across the top, squeeze that down inside that hole so it goes all the way to the bottom. And then the customer will go to the flavor station and add their syrup. Now, if you watch how that snow is absorbing that. It does really good. So we'll take a look with the spoon. It's really good. It's about the right consistency for me. Me personally, I do not like the super fine shaved ice. It's a little too syrupy, a little too sweet for me. This right here kind of changes that with the ice texture. But it's very good. One thing I'll show you real quick on this unit here. This has the handle of the adjustment knob. And I'll show you something on the adjustment knob. If you go all the way to the left, it's coarse. If you go all the way to the right, it is supposed to be more of a thinner shaved ice. So if I turn this to the tightest setting, thinking, okay, I'm going to get that super fine shaved ice, here's what happens. Nothing comes out. That's the problem. So if I adjust it all the way, and you can take this if you keep going it too far, this knob will actually come off. But then, and it's still not terrible, even at its most open setting, but it definitely has a little more of a crunch to it because of that. So I kind of go in the middle, over there, and kind of get where it's sort of, I kind of test it when I'm setting the machine up. I'm running out of ice. Let me get a little more ice here, guys. Sorry about that, I apologize. Again, close the lid. So I kind of just work with it where it's coming out nice, but yet it's kind of got that texture that I like. So that kind of gives you an idea. Like I said, it's definitely like the snow you have. See that? So just to kind of give you some ideas, I'll put a little more, watch the flavor soak in. So it definitely soaks in the flavor, where an ice cone or a snow cone, you'll notice that the flavor a lot of times is in the very bottom of the cone. The ice chips themselves will absorb some of it, but not a lot of it. So that gives you an idea. But what we're going to do, guys, is a series of videos as we go along and learn more